Hello everyone, I wanted to do a quick video today on chickweed. Chickweed, aptly named because chickens do love it, is this plant here growing in my garden bed. So this was my garden bed, and over the winter lots of different herbs and quote-unquote weeds have popped up. So you can see it's overrun with lots of this chickweed. Here's some purple dead nettle, another edible and medicinal plants. There is some dog fennel, which is not edible but can be crushed up and used as an insect repellent. Here is some bittercress, which is also edible. In the back corner you can't really see it, but there's some wood sorrel, which I've talked about previously. I even have a little wild carrot growing right here, and this plant looks like a lettuce, which it is in fact a lettuce, but it's not edible. It's a wild lettuce. It can be confused with a dandelion, so if you don't have any flowers, the easiest way to tell is to look for these little tiny hairs, and if it has these hairs, then you know it is a lettuce and not edible. But this chickweed is very edible. It starts growing here in the south during the winter, and it grows through December, January, February, March, April. But by the time it gets hot, it starts going away. It doesn't like the heat. It's a low to the ground growing little herb, and it kind of grows in clumps. It has very weak stems that want to just lie over and make these little clumps. You can see, to identify it, it has alternate leaves. The leaves are sort of oval shaped, and it has little tiny white flowers. And the white flowers, if I can find one, we can see the white flowers are sort of star-shaped, and when they're open, they look like they have 10 little points. There are 5 petals, but each petal is deeply cleft, so it looks like there are 10 little petals. It's getting towards evening time here, so I guess that's why all these little all the little flowers are closed up. So I'm not really getting any good ones to show for the camera. But this herb is delicious. It is edible and it is medicinal. And in the winter and early spring, when it is still young, you can eat it raw. It's delicious in a salad. It has sort of a fresh, maybe kind of a peppery taste, but it's delicious in a salad. You can eat it when it's young. You can eat the entire thing, the leaves, the stems, the flowers. If it gets a little older, you might just want to eat the top 2 or 3 inches. This patch growing here, it's April 11th, kind of getting towards mid-May, and it is actually getting on the older side. So you can see it's getting pretty long and leggy. And at this point, it gets not as tasty. It gets sort of stringy, kind of stringy, woody, maybe a little bitter tasting. It is still edible. You can eat the stems, leaves, flowers, flower buds. Everything is edible, but it's not as good once it gets to be older. So if you are eating it fresh, you can add it to salads, or just munch on it in the garden if you want to. Or if it gets to be older, you can still use it to harvest it. You can dehydrate it and use it all year long. Or you can add it to tea. You can add fresh or dehydrated to tea, 2-3 tablespoons per cup of tea. You can make a tincture out of it, and it has so many wonderful qualities. It supports healthy digestion. It's a laxative. It supports weight loss. It's full of vitamins and minerals. It has calcium, iron, vitamins A and C. It has cooling effects, so it's great for fevers, infection, It can be made into a poultice for stings, wounds, acne, blisters. So it grows everywhere, all around the world. And it is, as I said, it's tasty and delicious. And it grows in the wintertime or spring. It doesn't really like the heat. It's usually gone by summertime, but you can get it now and eat it fresh, make it into a tincture, dehydrate it, make a tea, and it will be a wonderful addition to both your cooking. You can cook it as well, but cook it very briefly because it's very tender, so it doesn't take long at all to cook. But it'll be a wonderful addition to your kitchen, as well as to your medicinal stockpile. So go out and check it out and try some of this today, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think.